Hello and welcome viewers. You're watching this special presentation of Sunset TV with your host Kriti Mishra. We are standing at the edge of a technological shift that is redefining power, policy and progress. Artificial intelligence is no longer confined to labs or tech giants. It is influencing governance, reshaping economies, transforming defense strategies and altering the way citizens live and work. Today, we have leaders to discuss not just how AI is evolving, but how it must be guided responsibly, ethically, and inclusively. As India positions itself as a global digital powerhouse, this conversation is not merely about technology. It is about trust, talent, and transformation. Joining us on the show, Mr. T.P. Chopra, co-chair, CII AI Forum, and CEO, Industry.AI. Also joining us, Mr. Amit Sinha, principal advisor, CII Digital. Welcome to Sunset TV, gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining us. And Mr. Chopra, let me begin the program with you. It seems that the world has converged at Bharat Mandapam. We have state heads, we have industry leaders, think tanks, students, policy makers, academia. Everybody is talking about India AI Impact Summit. How has it positioned India as global powerhouse?
First of all, Kriti, great to be on your show, and thank you very much for inviting me. I think this is an incredible opportunity for India to showcase our position in the world AI sphere. The reason I say that is that in the West, everybody's talking about safety, security, regulations. We are talking about access, scale, and like you said, it's AI for all. How do we bring AI to the entire world? And I think India has now positioned itself as the leader of the global South. We have the ability to bridge the advanced economies and the emerging economies and show them how good we are. For example, sovereign AI. India has already put aside 10,300 crores through the AI mission to provide GPU prices at 65 rupees an hour, which is one of the lowest in the world. We have 700 million people who have mobile users who can really revolutionize this whole usage of AI in our country. So in a nutshell, we are democratizing AI for all, whether it's in healthcare, agriculture, industry. It is now being available to everybody. The services sector is 55% of our economy. Agriculture or manufacturing is about nearly 17% of our economy. And I think AI has the ability to really transform our economy and take us to the next level.
Well, absolutely. That's a very valid point that you're making, Mr. Chopra. But sir, I'd also like to elicit your thoughts on India AI Impact Summit and the kind of response that we've seen from across the globe. How do you see it positioning India as global AI powerhouse?
I think this has actually positioned us right up front as one of the leaders, right? And I know we are number 3 behind US and China in terms of the AI leadership. But clearly, the exhibition, the presentations, the discussions that have been going on over the last few months, because there have been pre-event programs as well that have happened, has positioned us fair and square right as one of the leaders. We are no longer a consumer of AI, right? We have become one of the leaders in AI platforms, AI thought leadership, AI implementation globally with this. So the representation that is there in Bharat Mandapam, as well as all the other programs across the city and across the country, has positioned us right up there in the forefront.
Well, one big takeaway for you from the summit?
I think democratizing AI, bringing AI to the masses, whether we're talking about MSMEs, we're talking about consumers, we're talking about large enterprise, it's everywhere. And now with the student population coming in, getting trained and enabled on the AI platforms, that is actually setting us up for success in the future. So democratizing AI for all, that's the biggest takeaway that I'm seeing in this forum.
Mr. Chopra, do you second him on that one, that AI for all has been our biggest achievement?
Absolutely, because if you think about it, AI for all, only if AI goes to all. And I think that's the big challenge now, what is ahead of us in our country. Just think about it, sector by sector. The reason why it's absolutely critical is the fact that we have an opportunity to transform our economy, that in the next 10 years, I really do believe AI can help us leapfrog by about $500 to $600 billion of additional value to our GDP because of what AI is going to do. And think about it, if we go across industries, agriculture, healthcare, manufacturing, education, in each of these, it can have a transformative impact. Let me just talk about manufacturing. If you look at our MSMEs in our country, we have roughly about 70 million MSMEs, which employs about 230 million people. It produces about 30% of India's GDP and 50% of India's exports. So we've been trying to figure out how do we bring the big AI to all these 70 million MSMEs in India at a price point that makes sense. And it is very challenging because if you think about it, they don't have access to technology, people, capital, and how do we bring it to them? So like that, if we can replicate that in healthcare, agriculture, farmers don't need to be PhDs anymore because we are bringing the power of 100 PhDs to them. And that's going to be our challenge. But what's fascinating, Kriti, is that the speed at which the world is changing, that's what's going to give us an incredible opportunity to really change the world. For example, if you remember some time ago, NVIDIA showed a chip, the Blackwell chip, which was this big. They have shrunk that chip into this big. So today, this is a supercomputer, right? In this supercomputer today, we have the power to bring thinking, reasoning, learning, and acting into a box like this on the box, on the factory floor or on the table. So that's what I think, the innovation and disruption that this can bring in the world of AI, where it's no more on the cloud, it can be on the cloud, it can also be on the factory floor. The power of what we can do will transform our country, and that's what we're looking to do.
Well, absolutely. We are talking about transformation, and very legit point that you made was about MSMEs. Mr. Roy, I'd like to take that one to you. Are our MSMEs absolutely prepared to embrace this transformation?
They are on a journey which is taking them towards that. I wouldn't say they are fully enabled today. There are many interventions that CII, for example, as well as many other bodies are doing right now to enable MSMEs in digital transformation and AI, right? So that covers both looking at where are they today in terms of their maturity and then enabling them to go the next mile to be able to become experts in digital transformation as well as AI technologies, right? And we are working with our partners to enable thousands of MSMEs and their employees and the entire ecosystem to make sure they are set up to succeed in the AI world. So that's what's happening. So the answer, in short, is there is some more distance to go in terms of the maturity levels for the MSME to actually become experts at AI adoption.
Nonetheless, the beginning has been very, very impressive.
The beginning is there, and we are well on our way.
Well, absolutely. But also talking about sectors, Mr. Chopra, what are these sectors that would visit or see biggest transformation?
I think, Kriti, 4 or 5. First of all, it's going to impact everybody. So I don't think, but I think the 4 or 5 sectors that where I really do believe we can have quick impact. One is education. And I think there are lots of programs that are coming in. Today, you can provide local language education. Look what Sarvam is doing through text to speech, speech to text. So we can bring the power of education to every Indian person in our country. Healthcare. I really do believe it's going to transform healthcare because if you think about it, our mortality rates are still, we have a long way to go in terms of improving it. Right now, it's about 50, 55, 60 years. It's going to go to 72 years soon. And I think AI can help that. We can bring the power of the best medical advice to every Indian in this country. So I think that's number 2. Third is manufacturing. I think we have a huge opportunity. For example, we at Industry.AI bringing in productivity, safety, quality. And usually we do these for large corporates. My aim is how do we bring what we do for large corporates onto every factory floor in our country and impact all these 70 million MSMEs, because that's the ground up change that's going to happen in our country to transform manufacturing. And the fourth one is agriculture. Given how important agriculture is going to be in our country, we can transform yield of crops, we can improve productivity and output in crops in our country. And the last one that I'll just sort of say that I'd like to highlight is really around services sector. Now, the services sector is a little controversial because I do believe AI can have huge positive impact and negative impact because it could take away jobs, etc. But I do believe that at the end of the day, if AI is deployed correctly, It doesn't need to replace jobs, it can enhance jobs and make people even more powerful than we could do before. So today you're bringing the thinking and the reasoning capability to every factory floor guy or every services sector guy to be able to do it even better.
So AI may not replace but enhance jobs. What's your take on that?
AI will do both, right? There is the whole concept of the repetitive tasks that can be taken away with AI, right? So we don't need to do those repetitive tasks. We actually have to manage AI. So there are going to be new jobs that are going to be created where people will have to use AI as a tool and then be able to deliver much more effectively, efficiently with the AI platform. So that actually will improve productivity, right? So a person using AI, the human in the loop concept, right, will be far more productive than a person who's not using AI, right? So from that perspective, yes, AI will make everyone in most functions more productive and efficient, and therefore there will be less number of people who would be required compared to the past, but the output will be much faster and in many cases will be more accurate and better for the end purpose.
We just have to prepare for it.
We have to prepare for it. We have to ensure that everyone is enabled and conversant with these platforms and tools. It's not that AI can do everything. We have to know what to ask, how to ask, what to expect out. So it cannot do everything by itself. So the human in the loop is very, very important. And that's the guiding principle that is going to make us succeed in this.
So human intelligence will guide artificial intelligence. That's
Absolutely.
what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Well, absolutely. But talking about the macro picture, Mr. Chopra, what role can India play in actually shaping the global AI governance framework?
Correct. Kriti, think about this. We have 16%. We're the third largest country in AI experts and AI engineers. We have 16% of the world's AI engineers in India. And therefore, we have an incredible opportunity to become a real AI powerhouse for the global economy. Now, when you talk about AI, there are many, many elements of it. It's the infrastructure layer, the application layer, the R&D layer. I think in India, we should focus on diffusion. How do we take a lot of the models that exist and actually diffuse it all over the world, number one. Two, I think we could build the right infrastructure to support the world in the world of AI. The world of AI is going to be driven by one thing, energy. And the world is going to need 4 times more energy than there is today to actually support the growth of data centers all over the world. But I think India can play a critical role. The cost of energy today in India is one of the most competitive anywhere in the world. And that gives us a huge advantage. And we should take advantage of that to provide data center capabilities and infrastructure for the world.
Well, that's right. The capabilities. So how do we develop them further?
We have to start right from primary education. Let's not forget that seeding the young minds with what AI is, the potential that AI has, will actually help us drive the technology in the future. So starting with, and I did see that there is going to be primary education syllabus coming in with AI models. So once we have that, so education is going to be very important. At the same time, driving innovation is equally important. I did see some innovative models from startups around this time frame, where now the whole concept of requiring large compute data centers is one way of doing things, but they're talking about how you can have small models that can actually operate on your smartphone. Within that power frame, it doesn't even require a network connectivity. So it can operate by itself, standalone, and will do the tasks that it's meant to do. So depending on the model that you've implemented. So that is actually bringing in specialized platforms and tools for consumers to use, which will give them similar output as you would be getting from a backend. So these are the kind of innovations that we are seeing right here, right now. And we need to fuel these innovations to make sure that we are the ones who are taking the leadership in the AI world.
fueling the innovation. That's what you're talking about, sir. But Mr. Chopra, while we're fueling this innovation, we're also talking about responsible, inclusive, and ethical use of AI. How important is that?
Very, very critical. Kriti, AI is a tool that can be used very positively, but there could be certain concerns. And I think it's important that we create the guardrails and the frameworks to ensure the technology is used the right way. For example, the exposure to children, or the exposure if it's used in a negative way for fraud. So those are lots of concerns in cybersecurity and safety. And therefore, the challenge in front of all the governments in the world is, what are those guardrails and governance systems that need to be put in place to ensure that the technology is adopted and used in the right way? And I think it's going to be a challenge for all of us in this world because we're going into the unknown.
Yes.
We're going into an era where we don't know where this technology is going to lead us to. So it's a fascinating world. It's an exciting world. The speed at which it's changing, I can't even fathom how fast the technology is changing. But it's an incredible opportunity for us in India because we can transform not only our country, but the world, given the size and scale that we have in this country.
Well, absolutely, we can transform and we can be that pivot of transformation. But talking about our vision of making India a developed India and, of course, $5 trillion economy, the role of AI in achieving that vision, that target. Mr. Chopra, over to you first.
I think, like I mentioned, let's focus sector by sector and develop a roadmap and a plan on what we need to do. Healthcare, agriculture, manufacturing, services sector, education. I think if we can even look at just these 5 sectors and create a roadmap on how we need to deploy it, that's going to be key. Like I said, we don't have to adopt everything the way the world does. Today, the speed at which technology is moving gives us many, many more opportunities for things that we can do. Like you were mentioning, Amit, that we can now develop very specific, fine-tuned specific language models. We don't need to create the LLM. We can create fine-tuned models. In some cases, I call it machine language models. So we can create a machine language to predict a failure in a gearbox or a car or a generator. So we can develop very fine-tuned models. And I think that's where the world is going. 2 is we could become, in our country, the place for all agents. And we can transform in terms of productivity, safety, by using agents, whether it's on factory floors. We recently deployed an agent to control robots with vision, with cameras. So the ability to use these agents effectively and across these industries can really transform our country.
So your thoughts on that one?
If I may add, and I'm going to refer to some statistics so I don't get the numbers wrong, AI Edge for Viksit Bharat, energy and utilities, we talked about it, there is a potential for more than 40% growth, right? And leading the list is AI being used for smart metering to ensure that there is no power theft, to reduce that. There's a huge upside to that. Number 2, we talked about healthcare. More than 33% growth potential, and that is based on the focus shifting to AI-powered, say, TB detection, right?
Yes.
And these are things which are real happening now, remote diagnostics capability. So we don't have that. Doctor-patient ratio is totally off for our country, right? How do you use AI to be able to do some of the basics that enable the doctor to do faster diagnostics, right? Education, we talked about that. More than 25% growth potential with the world's largest AI student base, right? You mentioned that, right? Manufacturing, there's more than 19.2% capability of growth potential driving quality control in semiconductor and electronics industry, and that is the focus for India right now, the ISM 2.0, right? And finally, we're talking about agriculture with more than 14% growth potential, and that is based on AI-enabled crop advisories, and that's already happening in Maharashtra and many other places, right? How do you actually improve the output without, just spraying and praying in the sense whether it is fertilizer or whether it is, weed killers, etc., right? But you just do targeted, interventions. The farmers can do that, the small farmers, and make them more effective. So across each of these industries, there is significant growth potential which is available by deploying these AI capabilities.
Well, sir, thank you so much for putting things in perspective for us and joining us on this very important discussion. Thanks a lot, Mr. Roy and Mr. Chopra. Well, viewers, that's all we had for you in this edition. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to Sunset TV. Goodbye for now from my side.
To watch more programs of Sunset TV, subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to like and share them.